Hello and welcome back. Thank you guys for joining me again. And today I have a very informative video for you foreigners that have been waiting so long to visit your partner here in the Philippines, but with the current restrictions aren't able to. So stick with me for this video. It's going to be a lot of information for you to take in and the solution to you finally being able to visit your woman or your wife here in the Philippines. So before we get into the video, for my new subscribers, if you could please hit the subscribe button. It's free, and I'll be giving you guys some information on a weekly basis, updating you on the current situation here and different dating tips for you guys so that you don't fall in the pit holes that other foreigners do. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So as of November 1st, Thailand has opened the country to international travelers from certain countries to enter the country without having to undergo a lengthy quarantine. Now this is big because Thailand is so close to the Philippines, and it's also as cheap, if not cheaper, than the Philippines to visit. So per my sources, I've gathered some information for you guys to make this a bit easier. Fully vaccinated international travelers can travel to Thailand under the Sandbox program. So it's a special program they're calling Sandbox, meaning they need to stay for a minimum of 7 days. It must stay in SHA Plus Hotel, which is a government approved hotel, or resort for 7 nights. At the end of this period, they will be permitted to travel elsewhere in the country. Travelers under 18 and travelers with their parents as part of the Sandbox program are exempt from the vaccination requirement. Travelers entering via one of the Sandbox programs must have proof of a confirmed payment for at least a 7-day stay at an approved accommodation and proof of a confirmed payment for 2 RT-PCR tests, which can be reserved online. Okay, I'll drop the link for you guys down below. Unvaccinated travelers must quarantine at a government-approved quarantine facility or alternative state quarantine. Okay, that's for 10 days. This can include luxury hotels, some of which have developed quarantine packages. So at least, we'll be quarantined for 10 days, but we'll be staying in some luxurious places, and it's so cheap. So what you need to do is just make sure you're responsible and present a vaccine card showing that you're fully vaccinated, and you'll have no issues. You'll be able to enter Thailand, which is an awesome place to visit, and you can make it as though you and your woman go on a vacation together. It's just not you're going to visit her place and she's not really feeling like it's a vacation, but you are. But if you go to Thailand, you both are going to get the vacation vibe. So who can go? What countries are allowed to go, and what countries are approved under the Sandbox program? So holders of US, Canada, UK, and Australia passports are among those not required to obtain a visa with entering Thailand for tourism purposes, and will be permitted to stay in Thailand for a period not exceeding 45 days on each visit. Okay, so most of you guys coming from Canada, UK, and United States are guys that are coming here to the Philippines to mingle, to visit your wife, your girlfriend. So that's very big. You no longer have to worry about waiting, right? It's all about time. A lot of relationships nowadays have been struggling, and a lot of relationships have gone down the drain because of this whole thing that's happening in the world. But now there's no excuse. You guys can go visit your woman. All you need to do is muster up a few extra $100 for her plane ticket back and forth. It's really, really cheap. Now there are more restrictions and there are more requirements. So other things to expect when you do come here would be like restrictions. They vary throughout the country, so different parts of the country vary as far as the restriction goes based on the cases and the number of sick people. So in line with color-coded zoning system designed to reflect the coronavirus situation in individual provinces. So they'll have different markings on the floor, similar to what you'll see in the Philippines. This is actually something that can be a downside because of these markings on the floor causes a long line, so you have to wait a long line at the ATMs. It's pretty frustrating. Most major destinations are classified as blue zones and have had restrictions relaxed in recent weeks. Museums, art galleries, historical sites, ancient monuments, spas, cinemas, pools, tattoo studios, etc., are open throughout the country, but are required to operate under strict public health measures. So the number of visitors at 75% capacity rate So that would be the amount of visitors that a restaurant would be able to take in at that time. So if you're visiting Bangkok, they've already resumed all restaurant activity. Everything is pretty much back to normal, given the fact that there are some restrictions here and there. So remember guys, these are the places that you must only travel to if you want to come here and visit your woman. It's pretty cheap, and if you want to get your woman a ticket from the Philippines, it's usually like sometimes under $100, depending on the promo. There are so many different promos here in the Philippines. So getting your woman from point A to point B is going to be like very, very cheap, almost dirt cheap. Once you do plan that, it's going to be easy for her to travel because, you know, although Philippines are closed for tourists, for international tourists, they do allow Filipinos to come and go. I have a few friends that have already been to Thailand. I've been seeing a bunch of foreigners in Thailand, like on TikTok and all these places. And, you know, it's a smart move. It's a smart move. You're not going to have to wait. You know, you're not going to have to wait. We don't know when it's going to be back open here in the Philippines. You know, they were just going to announce to reopen to tourists. And then with the surge that just happened, they pushed back on that. It's a good thing because it's going to save the people here from having to scramble, and it's going to be relaxed on the healthcare system. But ultimately, it's going to be bad on the tourism for an extended period of time. So when it does open, you know, you guys will know about it. But for now, your best bet is to travel to Thailand. The food is a little bit, you know, different than Philippines. Philippines, you know, their food is a bit more normalized. And in general, you're going to spend less money in Thailand. I think you'll spend less money in Thailand staying at a hotel for food and just things you want to do and places you want to go. It's just so dirt cheap there. The only thing is, you know, the communication barrier. It's a bit different in Thailand. People do speak less English there. So guys, make sure you're fully vaccinated to prevent yourself from having to waste 2 weeks out of your vacation, which some of you guys probably only have 2 weeks. With that being said, make sure that your woman or whoever you're going to visit or is going to come to Thailand to visit you knows the current situation and the current requirements for traveling internationally. Because some provinces now in the Philippines, they also have their separate restrictions. For example, if a returning Filipino is coming back into the country, they are requiring that their whole family in the house that they'll be staying at is fully vaccinated. If not, they have to quarantine. So make sure that she or he knows that, so that, you know, you can, you know, bypass any obstacles possible. And this is all about preparation, guys. This is why I make videos to shed light and give you guys information on these kind of things. All right. So with that being said, you guys have a good day, good night, and remember, if you do get a chance to help somebody out, we're not the only ones that need help here. There are people that need help more than us. And if you are a new subscriber, and if you've gotten all the way to this point, which means you enjoyed what you've seen, then please subscribe. It's free. It's going to help my channel out. I'm trying to get the word out there, and I'm trying to give information that's valuable for you guys.